Garda Chief Drew Harris should go. He covered up for the Glenanne gang, the Loyalist butchers who murdered dozens of people in the 1970s. The other night, the documentary Unquiet Graves was shown on Irish television. The documentary revealed how there was collusion between MI5, the British Army, the RUC, and the Loyalist murder gang, the Glenanne gang. They killed over 80 people, and they were even responsible for planting the Dublin Monaghan bombs that killed 33 people in 1974. The documentary even revealed that at one point MI5 was trying to encourage the gang to go in and kill everyone in a Catholic school, teachers and children included. It shows that the barbarity that was inflicted on the Catholic population in the north was inflicted as a matter of policy by the British government and the forces of the British state. The Glenanne gang included ex-soldiers, members of the RUC, UVF and UDA terrorists. Most of their attacks were in what was called the Murder Triangle in Mid-Ulster and Armagh. They were called the Glenanne gang after a farm where they dumped their arms. They had links to far-right white supremacists in the British Army, but these loyalist death squads also had help from the RUC and MI5. In October 1972, they threw a grenade into a house, killing Patrick Connolly. He may have been the first of their victims, but he wouldn't be the last. In 1973, they attempted to assassinate civil rights hero Bernadette Devlin, but their worst crimes were to come in May 1974 with the Dublin Monaghan bombings. 33 people were killed. But think about the reality of a loyalist murder gang with links to the British state, exploding bombs in Dublin and Monaghan that killed 33 people. And still to this day, where's the justice? In July 1975, a minibus containing the Miami show band was stopped by people pretending to be British soldiers. They were going to plant a bomb on the bus, but it exploded, and so the Glenanne gang decided to massacre the members of the band. They opened fire, killing 3 people. It was later revealed that British Army intelligence officer Robert Lawrence Nairac was conspiring with the gang to plan these attacks. What has all this got to do with Drew Harris, who's now Garda Commissioner, the top dog in the Gardaí? Well, in 2010, he was the Assistant Chief Constable of the RUC PSNI up north. He wrote to lawyers representing the victims of the Glenanne gang, saying that there would be no investigation. 89 people dead, and there'd be no investigation, because it would dig up links to the RUC and the British state. The British government set up an historical inquiries team which was supposed to be neutral and independent of the RUC and then the PSNI. In 2014, the Inspectorate of Policing said the Historical Inquiries team was not neutral at all, but Drew Harris moved to stop any independent inquiry. In 2010, he brought the HET under his own control and then took its powers away. In 2017, a court found that Harris had used extreme abuse of power to do this. So despite this, Leo Varadkar offers him the highest wage ever paid to a Garda Commissioner, $250,000 a year, to come down and take over the cops. Stephen Travers, whose 3 bandmates had been killed in the Miami show band massacre in 1975, said there's something seriously wrong with this appointment. The appointment of Drew Harris was an insult to all 89 victims and all their families. But then we're talking about Fine Gael here. If they're willing to celebrate the black and tans, why wouldn't they be willing to applaud Drew Harris for covering up the crimes of loyalist death squads? Fine Gael hate the history of this country. Fine Gael hate our struggle for freedom. But most of all, Fine Gael hate the working class.